Hello, everybody. Good morning, and good very morning to my lovely co-commentator, Piseg.
Good morning, Kat.
How are you all doing? Welcome. It's time for Pac-Land. Pac-Land, the whole damn game, is quite possibly the greatest video game ever made and the hardest video game ever made. Well, not hardest. It is. Go ahead.
It's very, very difficult. Sorry, I was.
It's mean, and Pac-Man's hat flies. Pac-Man is also a red mage, so we're keeping on the Final Fantasy theme. I saw that Onion Knight in the rando, so we will keep that going. We're gonna get into the run so we can keep things moving, but and we'll give a little bit of history on what Pac-Man, or not. We're not gonna tell you what Pac-Man is. You know what Pac-Man is, but what Pac-Land is. Do you want to count us in?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Excellent. You will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's Pac-Land.
All right. So what is going on here? What is Pac-Land?
Well, number one, you've done the hack glitch, I see, which is amazing.
I love the hack glitch. So if you reset at the end of a stage, when Pac-Man's hat rises off the top of his head, he'll start with the hat rising off the top of his head. That's my gift from me to you, SpeedGaming. That's my gift from me to you.
It's a wonderful gift. You should be very grateful. I mean, you don't need to, but
be grateful.
But Pac-Land is based on, very loosely, on the Hanna-Barbera cartoon from 1982-ish or so. Very, very loosely. And that's why Pac-Land looks a little different. That's why he's got the red mage hat. Hanna-Barbera thought it was cool to give him a fancy hat and stuff. He's been stylized a bit back to normal from that for the TurboGrafx 16 version, which we run for this game, because as you can see, it's a platformer. One of the first ones ever made. It was made before Mario Brothers.
Yeah, this predates Mario Brothers. And there wasn't a lot of groundwork to work with on how platformers should work. So the controls of this video game are maybe a little different.
They are indeed, and it's a 3-button control. If you can imagine how that is, imagine an arcade cabinet, which is what we're working with here. You have 3 buttons. One button pressed goes left, one button pressed goes right, the other jumps. If you want to run, you double tap right or left. If you want to go really fast, you mash run right or run left.
But Trace, I hate mashing.
I hate mashing too, and I would get a repetitive stress injury of some sort if I did that for, 25 minutes or so, which I would need for the whole dang game.
Whatever would I do?
Well, that's why we have the TurboGrafx 16 here, and that's why everybody runs it on that, because that has built-in autofire/turbo.
Yep, the controller has a toggle switch on it for 2 levels of turbo, 3 if you count not turbo being on. And the fastest way to move is just put the turbo switch on and let Pac-Man schmoove. And what that does do is that since turbo is a 2-on 2-off toggle in the game, occasionally when you see me land, Pac-Man will stutter for a moment. And that means I've landed on a 2-off frame.
Exactly.
If I'm landing on a 2-on frame, he'll just keep running. How do I stand still? I just don't hit a button.
Exactly. So there's an additional little fun issue with this, is if you land on a platform and you're not quite where you want to be, and you want to kind of adjust a little bit, you can tap left or right to try and adjust your positioning for a next jump. But there's also a chance that Pac-Man flies off that platform because he hit 2 on frames and he's shooting off at turbo speed. Which means your controls are very erratic when you need to do finite little precision jumps and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but you're also...
Go ahead, keep going. I like where you're going.
I was going to say, you are about 3 seconds faster on pretty much any stage, guaranteed, with turbo controls, at least. But you do have to deal with that precision issue. But you're always going to be faster, never turning it off. Yeah.
And in terms of how you jump, since the TurboGrafx controller is remarkably similar to an NES controller. It's got 2 buttons. That's basically the A and B of the controller are named 1 and 2. So the D-pad makes you jump. Any direction on the directional pad will make you jump in the air.
Exactly that.
Which is what you expect to hit when you want to jump, right?
Obviously, yes. I mean, this is completely normal and totally not completely opposite from any other game I've played in my childhood.
Where's my up to jump fan?
I have some thoughts about that one. But yeah, as you can see, we're kind of going through trips here. We didn't really talk about the trip structure, but we're doing 8 trips here as part of the whole dang game, and that is, each trip is 4 rounds. And 3 of those rounds are running to the right to deliver a little tiny fairy in our hat to a giant fairy.
Let's go!
Nice! Those waves, we'll get to those when they become a real issue later, I think, or, you know, real quick here. But you can see the grab from Pac-Man. But yeah, and then she'll give this fairy, which we're about to see right now, is going to give us infinite jump boots, which let us jump as many times as we want, even in the air.
Yeah, and the jump kind of feels like Super Metroid's, what's the jump move called? I forget the name of the jump thing that lets you jump a lot.
You're talking to somebody who's only played Metroid Prime.
I keep wanting to say screw attack, but that's not it. But it's like the multi-jumps in Super Metroid, is the best way to describe it. You can't just mash the button. It doesn't do much for you, but if you give it a second, you do another jump.
Yeah, rhythms help there. Yeah, so we're doing the run left. Every 4 stages we'll be doing this to run back home.
And we get our magic boots and bring them home. I guess it makes our family happy and in Fortnite Bush.
Yes, exactly. We have a cup of tea.
Space jump! There it is, space jump. Here.
Oh,
there's Fortnite Bush. If you got the emote, now's the time to use it. That applies exclusively to PSEG.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm working on it.
There you go. That was a weird way to die. Throw that out there.
It happens. So, the thing about this game is that ghost placement is oftentimes...
It's not complete RNG, but there's enough seeds of where the ghosts can be, and if you die, everything gets a little bit messed up in a stage.
Yeah, so it's early. I'm trying to think the best way, but yeah, it's basically that. It'll get messed up a little bit on the seeding, but also it'll just vary every now and then by a few more pixels than you expect, or a ghost will drop early or late, and it'll throw everything off. There's a few rounds where you just settle into a rhythm, and then suddenly out of nowhere, a ghost decides to jump early or just be in your way for seconds on end.
Yep. Like this pattern. This is a weird pattern.
Round 10 always has weird patterns in it that you kind of have to just react to.
Woods are haunted.
A lot of it is just learning to have patience, which is difficult.
I thought that Red Ghost was going to pogo to the left, where in fact it just pogoed straight up.
Yeah, so that's another thing, is like you can kind of get some ghosts to react based on where your positioning is, along with some of the other obstacles. Pogo, if you're far enough left, usually the ghost will then try to do a big old launch over to the left to hit you. But that's not a guarantee, and if you're running to them to try and goad them into that, sometimes they'll just drop right back down straight.
Yeah, they're not to be trusted.
No, absolutely not.
I like 11. 11 is nice and calm. 11, you start to learn about momentum a lot when you start running this game.
Right, so right there is a great time to talk about tall jumps, or high jumps, I guess.
Yep. So if you don't have enough steps in your run, you'll kind of get like a short jump. That's usually pretty bad, especially when you want to jump onto things. So you saw Pac-Man kind of only get half height and then yeet into a pit. And that's because I didn't take enough steps forward before I hit that jump button.
So for any narrow platforms, it's going to be really key for Kat to land on the left side of the platform and then get enough steps to jump up and get that high jump to make any of these jumps, because some of them you cannot make without that, or you're going to have to take a much longer, much more dangerous path. And yeah, so remember what I said about precision with Turbo? That very much applies here. If you don't land on the left side of that platform, adjusting there is sometimes nigh impossible, and sometimes it just means you're not going to get that jump.
Yeah, even if you turn Turbo off, Pac-Man is liable to run off the side of the platform.
Absolutely that. There
is not a good way to handle him. Like, it looks like an kind of like deceivingly easy platformer, but I've probably spent hundreds of hours on this game at this point, as well as PSEG.
Yes.
And it's devious in ways you don't expect.
it surprises me in new ways when I keep trying to cut time every now and then. There'll be one skip where I feel like it's nice and secure and stable, and then a ghost appears and starts appearing repeatedly during the cycle in a way that just causes me to lose life. And also, yes, let's talk about these hydrants for a minute. So you see them pushing Pac-Man around. You pretty much cannot resist them once those hydrants spout out. If you get caught by one of those water spouts, you are moving at its speed.
Yep.
And breaking away from that is often dangerous. And there's going to be a later round.
You can run against it, and it'll just push you.
Exactly.
I don't have a key. I have made an error.
Yeah, you took the high route there.
Oh, that's okay. We're just going to kill Pac-Man for his errors.
Yep. So there is 3 ghost houses in this game for the whole dang game. And Kat just used a nice little wall door skip. I don't know if we've got a name for that, but
wall clip.
Yeah, wall clip. It's just a wall clip. Let's just call it what it is. You can jump through some doors doing that from the middle level, or from the bottom level to the middle level, and there's really not a good use for that except if you get the path wrong.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's high risk of soft lock.
The second and third ghost house kind of help, but it's inconsistent. Start getting it like perfectly.
Yeah, exactly that. And I've kind of looked up and thought of paths for all 3 ghost houses that if you remember them and nail them every time, it's usually slightly faster and not worth the risk. But at the same time, if you do make a mistake or take a wrong turn, you do have to have it in hand. It's just another little trick to have in your bag.
Yeah, and like I could have run backwards a lot, go find a key and open a door, but
not worth it.
No, I'd rather just clip through the wall because it's more fun for y'all and me.
Yep. So one of these times you're going to have to address those little waves that rise up through the ground.
So we have a name for those in the speedrun community. We lovingly call those waves Satan because they are here to drag you to hell.
Yes, exactly. Ooh, nice jump there. That skip takes a good amount of rhythm to land on the right platform, then jump over the plane. So
yeah, and you have to land on that platform. You cannot just use your boots to jump over the top of the screen. Pac-Man will not go past the top of the screen. You need to be on a platform to launch yourself off of.
Yeah, so the other thing with the fairy boots is you don't get tall jumps if you're just jumping through air. You land on a platform, though, you get a tall jump.
Nope. You can use that to get over the ghost.
Yeah, it's morning. I keep saying tall instead of high, but same deal. And that's a good...
Same purpose. It's up there.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're under 12 for 4 trips. That's pretty good. Now comes the evil part of Pac-Land. Like, if it looked like a pleasant platformer at this point...
yeah,
I'm sorry.
There's a reason the short category for this game, and the only category for this game for a while was 4 trips, until I came along and caused a problem with 8 trips. 4 trips is nice, and it's good. When you get past trips, basically 4 through 8, they're very mean and unforgiving and brutal.
Yeah, so you're going to see stuff here that's just legitimately unfair. If you see any death that's like, you see what's happening and you don't know where we could have gone, chances are we don't know either. Like, there's just cases where if Pac-Land wants you to die, you're going to lose a life.
Pac-Land does want you to die. You know that.
And I think my world record has 2 or 3 game overs, so dying is right now pretty much the norm.
Yeah, if you could somehow, once you see the game, you'd probably have the record, or you were extra careful.
Yeah. And sometimes being extra careful, and usually it's safer and faster, but you can see we're also very much schmoovin' here.
Yep.
That goes just starting to...
No! Small jumps!
No! It's especially tough when... So those logs, it may not... Well, now it's apparent because you're running along it, but those do roll, and you are running with them. They're trying to push you left. So you have to take a couple extra steps sometimes to get a high jump.
Mm-hmm. That was going so well, 18, too.
yeah, that was really good. And then, yep, of course it's going to do something like that to you. Now here comes the second ghost house.
Incorrect.
Yeah, hi. I will say we did race this a couple weeks back, and I think the couple times I passed you was in ghost houses.
Yeah, I exclusively make wrong choices in the ghost house. It's just part of my nature. I don't know why.
Okay, oh.
First try.
You want to show off those wall clips, that's all.
I love the wall clips.
Yeah, you do those way better than I do. I can't do this to save my life.
You know why I do them way better?
Why is that?
I constantly put myself in the position where I have to do it.
Totally fair. I'll take that. And now for the one round in which I can kind of lay out and you can enjoy what's about to happen.
Okay. What happens in 20?
What happens in 20?
What happens in 20? I'm gonna take a break.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you right now, the ghosts have taken a break. They're on either they're on strike or they're taking a break. I don't know what the deal is, but the only two of them are here, and you'll see them later, and they won't be a problem.
What was the name
Otherwise,
of the guy?
we're running.
The villain that we looked up?
Oh, I forget. It's like, oh, I've got here Mesmeron.
Mesmeron has given the ghosts a day off. Or they're on strike. I like the on strike thing.
Yeah, I like the idea that there's a ghost union bartering right now as this is happening.
We're just running.
Yep.
And since we run a little bit faster thanks to the turbo switch, we are in no danger of running out of time. If you run without the turbo switch, kind of spicy.
Yeah, it's a case where, so you can see the timer at the bottom. It's those pack dots that are slowly vanishing by the round number. If that gets to 0, that there's a slow ghost that normally follows us, behind us. And they'll speed up and go right at us as the bottom says, hurry up instead. And that's the only time they're usually a risk, unless we're being real slow in the level.
Yeah. Alright, 21. It's a really normal, very casual city.
Yeah, if you had questions about those double-decker hydrants, this is really not the level for you. Because it's full of them, and you pretty much have to time every jump to beat the hydrant spray. Because
I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah. That is a common refrain in Pac-Land. I have somehow survived this nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know how I got through 21 unscathed there. That was spicy.
Yeah. You just have to beat the hydrant jumps and hope everything else works out in your favor, because if the hydrants push you backwards in that level, what it takes to wrangle Pac-Man back into a salvageable position is often the same time you lose for like a death. So, and in that regard, it's kind of a general rule for me that deaths cost you about 4 seconds in this game, and game overs are like 30 to 40, so.
That was an amazing 22 up until that point.
Yeah, you were doing really well.
I think that'll be okay. I think that'll put me past it. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, there is some checkpointing in these specific levels, these like cliffs, where if you see pools like that, especially later on, there are some very bad patterns that are hard to get past without dying. And we can just take a death there, skip past them, and the ghosts will all reset their patterns and be out of the way for like a couple seconds. And that's oftentimes faster or just as fast.
And then like it'll spawn you past where you died. So
yeah,
you'll be able to like, okay, I got 90% of the way there, we're good.
Yep, exactly. The game is pretty generous about putting you a little bit forward if you're close to the next checkpoint. And it's especially helpful in these stages too. So we didn't talk much about Satan. You see those waves popping up. We did talk about that. If they grab you, breaking free is extremely difficult. You pretty much have to mash jump in a direction. Hope you're not like in the middle of it.
Yeah, if you're like vaguely on the side of it, you'll probably get out. If you're in the middle, you're going in that water.
Yep. And yeah, if you don't break free before it drags you down, you are done.
Mm-hmm. Now, if it pulls you down into a ghost, you'll end up standing on the ghost and you'll be fine. That's the only situation. Good luck on doing that on purpose.
Yeah, it's like if you make that a strat, more power to you. I've never been able to do that. I've only had that lead to Joy's death. And now here's the one running left with Satan waves.
Running left with Satan is my favorite running out. Dog too.
It's got some pretty good bops in it, I gotta say.
Everything is fine. Not several ghosts. Oh,
Oh, yep. There's more proof of what hydrants can do to you. That was not so bad. We didn't need to take that power pellet, which that freezes the timer, but it's right at the end, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we're close enough to the end that it's milliseconds at that point, and also I'm scared.
Yeah, so pellets work exactly as you'd expect in a Pac-Man game. They make the ghosts all eatable, and they also stop the bonus time, they stop the timer, so there's more bonus time at the end. Costs a little bit of seconds, but when you're at the end there, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I have no lives, so this is extra spicy. Oh, I don't need to take that.
Literally YOLO here.
Just trying to plot out when to die.
You know, 26 is a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Because 26 is kind of one of the widowmakers of this game. You know, if you're going to lose a run, 26, 22, and then the entirety of trip 8.
Wait, let's go. Alright, yep, I'm gonna keep myself into a pit here. 26 is definitely a thing.
Yeah, 26 is one of the places where you want to grab a power pellet early, and when it does appear. Also, there's some jumps and ghosts that are rather nasty.
Alright, here we go. 26. Let's go.
Alright, full set of lives. Much better.
Let these books right away.
Yep. You let those pass. There's not a good way past them otherwise. Here you go down here. You kind of have to hope those ghosts don't drop down on you. Jump on logs. Ooh, you're taking a nice route there. Jump on the planes to get some extra skips. You can jump on the planes as platforms. You're going to need to do this later, and yeah, that's a rough one. But we got work past it, so it's okay.
Vision be danged! Okay, we're good.
And we got the pellet, so that lets us make a very safe jump here. Otherwise, we're on that rolling log platform for a while trying to dodge tiny ghosts and then jump past. It's mean. You want to get the pellet and just say no and jump past it all.
All things considered, 10 out of 10, 20. Well, 9 out of 10. I could have done a little bit better when I did myself in the works, but...
Could have. But it's still rough. And then 27 is much like round 10 in that it's just a lot of stuff being thrown at you. A lot of it is kind of feels a little RNG based, but you just gotta deal with it.
My favorite part of 27 is that there's a car in the woods. You never see that again.
Yep. Also, one of the few places where I've died right at the point of the door and soft locked the game completely.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
In that instance, we let people use the the level select key.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that idea. But also, the safer way is just to grab the power pellet there, but we don't do that because we're conditioned not to.
God forbid you Wow!
Yep.
Blue Ghost wanted it. The Clyde?
The Pogo Stick fire sale is on. All Pogo Sticks, 90% off. And please, get in your plane and fly over to Mesmeron's Pogo Stick Emporium.
Oh, that was a high jump. Oh, not what I wanted.
So that's the other thing about the boots. Sometimes you hit a platform or a ghost plane that ends up being a platform for you and you don't realize it, and you do a high jump you didn't expect, and given the precision you need here, that usually leads to death.
Just that image of Captain America sitting backwards in a chair, like, so you did a high jump.
Yeah, so you've chosen to do a high jump. Here's what's about to happen.
Alright, trip 8.
Here comes trip 8.
Last trip of the game, and maybe the easiest and gentlest and most fun trip. Don't worry, this is, what you're about to see is the intended route to this stage.
Absolutely true. So, you got... Oh, we're going for a safe plane, okay.
I meant to get on yellow, but,
Yeah, that's fine, So every one of these cloud platforms here, that Kat has, every one of them will grab away from the plane, push Pac-Man upwards, because they take priority over the enemies. So every time one of those appears, Kat's gonna need to jump. She's gonna need to try and stay on the plane, and beautiful.
So, if a platform is above you and moves down, Pac-Man will be on the platform suddenly, and the platform will move you into the ghost. Not the greatest maneuver in the history of Pac-Man.
No, it will. It basically leads to death, and then you're on penalty islands, having to jump across all those cloud platforms without the assistance of a plane.
Penalty Island is not a great place to.
No, it slows down the run by about 30 seconds, and that was a scary jump for wall. But you know.
So there's fun reasons there. If you do a bad jump there, you'll end up in the penalty box.
Yeah, so you saw the 2 doors there. If Kat ends up between those without a key, she has to wait for the timeout ghost.
Yeah. Not a great way to be, but that was actually a pretty good 30.
That was an excellent 30. You did great.
Are you supposed to ride on the plane? Yes. Yes, you are. It's the only way across.
Supposed. Yep. The first leg of that stage, you have to ride the plane. And you really want to do it across the rest because it is much, much faster.
All right, 31.
Now, 31.
Oh,
yeah.
What can we say about this? Let me count the ways I love 31. Woof.
Well, I think we've just run over the count. That's a good old 0. 0 ways.
31 is easily the most vicious stage in the game.
Yes.
Between Satan, which is really going for, like, prize today, and the planes, and me inability to get on the platform, we'll probably game over here.
So,
come on, there we go.
Gotta try, do the crescent jump around. Try and get further in. We're pretty close to the end here. The Cat's been making this look easy for 29 and 30. 31's always going to look tough.
31 is so mean.
In practice, I've only gotten through 31 twice ever without losing a life. And that was in practice. In runs, I've never done it. But it's a case where any one of these rounds can absolutely tank your run, not only like cost you your PB, but like add another 10 minutes on if things get really nasty.
My second time running this category, 40 minutes in 31. 40 minutes. Ah!
I cannot stress how much there is here that you just are not ready for. And the best tactic is once you get past that power pellet that Kat is currently running off of, get up to the top level, there'll be planes, and you want to get those planes and use them as platforms to get to the next like top level platform. Because if you do that, you don't have to worry about the tiny ghosts that drop, or the waves as much, which makes things a lot simpler because when you're down there in the bottom level, any waves that pop up on any of those narrow platforms, you're pretty much stuck to whatever it wants to do.
Past it.
But we're through, so I don't have to talk about that anymore, because we're on the last stage. Oh my god, yes it is.
If I didn't game over there, that would have been well over PB territory.
Yeah, oh my gosh, you're doing great.
I think I got into 31 at like 24 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to look at this afterwards, because...
I have not hit a single split in my splits.
Nope, you have not. But, yeah, we are now at the Flappy Bird section of Pac-Land. I hate to inform you, but Pac-Land did Flappy Bird as well before Flappy Bird happened. So there's no checkpoints here because there's no land below, but that doesn't matter because Kat just...
Oh!
Made that look easy. Oh, that's a bad reset.
Right in front of the door.
That's not even fair.
That would have been another 30-second PB.
Yeah, oh, that is Pac-Land being Pac-Land. I'm so sorry.
That's all good. Sometimes you pack and sometimes...
Yeah. Ooh. So that's how mean this stage is. If you screw up at any point, it's time.
Yeah. It was like a 28 even though. So that's good.
Yeah, it was about 28 even, so that's really good.
Okay, so
that's
there we go. Yeah, that was awesome actually. That was a PB.
Yeah, nicely done.
Like my old PB was like 28:30 or something.
It was, and I was telling you right before this, hey, you should submit that run that you had. That was your PB. I guess I'm wrong. Because this is your new one you should submit.
That was a 27:59. That was sub 28. Let's go.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, so for the record, like sub 30 used to be like unheard of in the game. Getting to sub 30 in a marathon now, like kind of consistently, is kind of incredible. But that's Pac-Land. I hope y'all enjoyed the whole dang game, because that was the whole dang game. There is slightly more game. I had a donation incentive that I have no idea if it's actually in there or not. So, host, do you just? I'm sorry.
I am here.
Hello, welcome.
There was the incentive did not get met for the pro mode stages.
That's fine by me. You get to get teased by this pro mode screen.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for the run. I have never actually seen this game, and it's a game for sure.
It's so good. Anyway,
but everyone can stick around because FlannelKat, you're going to be doing more runs here, including Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel.
Yep.
Next.
Which appears to be next. So go ahead. I'll pull me off stage. I'll switch games and we'll get it going.
Yep, go ahead and switch and start up whenever you're ready. While you are switching, I'm going to remind everyone that this is a SpeedGaming Spring Marathon benefiting No Kid Hungry, a charity with the mission of ending childhood hunger. You can get the donation link by typing NKH in the chat, or by looking in our Twitch profile, or by going to speedgaming.org/NoKidHungry. Thank you for helping support this great cause.